Archangel Michael says, only 2 minutes left, someone has falsely accused you of a serious crime on purpose. You won't believe their name? God says, I beg you don't skip this, or you'll be the one who pays the price. You feel the heavy chains of injustice tightening around your spirit. It's unfair, and the pain is deep. But God says, I beg you, don't skip this. You are not alone in this storm. Your name is written on the palm of His hand, and His mercy will not abandon you in this dark hour. Though your world may feel like it's collapsing, heaven is rising in your defense. Right now, only 2 minutes remain before a decision is made in the heavenly realm. But don't be afraid. This isn't a warning of doom, it's a call to faith. A moment of divine interruption. A turning point is arriving. Type 1414 if you believe. The enemy's schemes are loud, but the whisper of God is louder. It speaks peace in the chaos, hope in the despair, and freedom when chains seem unavoidable. You may be facing accusation, betrayal, and lies that carry the weight of legal threats, but the Lord of hosts stands before you as your advocate. He knows the truth. He sees beyond what others assume, beyond what they judge. The courtroom of man may misjudge your heart, but the courtroom of God sees your soul in full light. And where there is truth, there is always deliverance. Every tear you've cried in silence, every breath you've held in fear, and every night you've spent in prayer has been seen. Not a single moment of your suffering is invisible to heaven. You are not forgotten. The accusations may have spread like wildfire, but the justice of God moves like rivers that cleanse the land. Your name has not been stained in His book. Your life is still a song He is writing with grace. The voice of Archangel Michael is not one of fear, it is one of awakening. It is a call for you to stand in the light, even when shadows try to swallow your steps. He says, hold your ground. Stand in truth. Let no fear control your heart. Those who rose against you with deceit shall fall by their own snares, for God will not be mocked by the plans of the wicked. The very net they wove to trap you will soon tangle their own feet. You must remember this, God is a God of timing, not of panic. If He has allowed you to walk through this valley, it is not to break you, but to bring you closer to His heartbeat. He's teaching you how to trust when the walls shake and how to believe when the ground shifts. You may feel like the world is about to sentence you to pain and punishment, but God is preparing to write a new decree in your favor. You are not guilty in His eyes. You are loved. In moments like these, your heart might race with questions, and your mind might struggle to find answers, but you don't need all the answers right now. You just need to know who holds the final word, and that's God. His judgment is righteous. His hands are kind. His power is unmatched. The enemy has whispered a lie that this is the end, but heaven is shouting that this is only the beginning of your deliverance story. Type 1111 if you trust in God. Even when everyone turns away, even when those you trusted become strangers, and even when your name is tossed like dust, God never lets go. His love does not depend on others' opinions. His loyalty is not shaken by gossip or cruelty. He holds you as a father holds his child after a fall. He lifts you, wipes the dirt from your soul, and reminds you that no one can undo the purpose He placed inside you. Do not fear the jail made by man, for it cannot imprison the Spirit of the living God that dwells within you. You may walk through fire, but it won't consume you. You may be placed in a den of lions, but you will not be devoured. Because when God is with you, no earthly threat can overpower His divine will. You are His. And He is fighting for you right now, even when you don't see it. This pain you're feeling is real, but so is His promise. This battle may look like it's going to break you, but the truth is, it's molding you. You are being refined, not ruined. Strengthened, not shattered. He is using every tear, every sleepless night, and every broken moment to build something eternal inside you. His hand is over your life. Even now. And when this storm finally passes, and it will, you will look back and see that it wasn't the accusations that defined you, but the grace that carried you through. You will realize that every lie was only a stepping stone toward your testimony. Every betrayal was a path to deeper faith. And every moment you chose to trust instead of fear was a victory in the eyes of heaven. Keep your head lifted, even if your heart feels heavy. Keep your eyes on the light, even when everything feels dark. You are not being destroyed, you are being delivered. The false accusations cannot break you because the truth lives inside you, and truth always outlasts the storm. Your name is safe in the mouth of God. Your life is sacred in His plan. Every crooked scheme, every whisper behind your back, and every lie spoken with malice will soon be exposed by the brightness of His truth. He sees what no one else does, and He moves in ways we do not expect. Type 222 if you believe God will turn it all around for your good. What if you could unlock a secret brain wave that top scientists discovered inside the hippocampus, the very switch that signals wealth and abundance? Hidden from the public for decades, this breakthrough can rewire your mind to attract prosperity faster than you imagined. Picture the stress of bills replaced with financial freedom and new opportunities. Every delay is a missed blessing, and those who act now are already walking into the wealth you deserve. Step forward before the door closes. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate this ancient money wave and step into abundance today. Sometimes, the weight of what is said about you can feel like a chain wrapping around your chest, stealing your breath. You might wonder why such things are happening, why someone would go to such lengths to destroy your name. But the truth is, when you carry light, darkness notices. And when you walk closely with the Lord, the enemy gets uncomfortable. He throws darts not because you are weak, but because your destiny is powerful. The trial you face is not the proof of your failure, it is the evidence of your calling. God is not sitting silent. He is not far away, watching you suffer without care. He is close. He is deeply present. And though His justice may not always look like what we imagine, it is always perfect. It comes in peace, not panic. It arrives in ways that bring healing instead of hatred. And when God begins to move, every lie starts to tremble. The walls that were built against you with deception will not stand forever. They will crack, fall, and crumble into dust beneath your feet. You may feel surrounded by false stories, legal threats, or broken trust, but you are not standing there alone. Beside you stands the one who was also falsely accused, betrayed, beaten, and nailed to a cross, yet he rose. Jesus knows the pain of injustice. He understands betrayal. And because he endured it, you never have to face it without him. His scars tell the story of how suffering doesn't win. Love does. Truth does. God does. Hold tight to that love now. Let it be the shelter in this storm. The world may try to chain you, but your soul belongs to a kingdom not built by man. A kingdom where mercy speaks louder than judgment and where grace washes away what was meant to harm. When Jesus steps into your courtroom, whether literal or spiritual, the entire atmosphere changes. Accusations lose power in his presence. Condemnation melts beneath his compassion. And you, precious child of God, are restored. You might feel like the pressure is too much, like you're walking through fire with no end in sight. But remember, fire doesn't just burn, it purifies. God is using this to refine your faith, to deepen your dependence on him, and to lead you into something greater than you imagined. Even in the heartache, his plan is working. Even in the silence, his voice is near. Even when the verdict seems set, he can shift everything in a single moment. Type 555 if you believe God is already working behind the scenes. There's something holy about holding on when everything in you wants to let go. There's strength in staying soft when the world has hardened around you. That gentleness, that forgiveness, that hope you still carry, it matters. It reflects the light of Christ in a dark situation. It invites heaven into your pain. So do not give up. Don't let your spirit sink into bitterness or revenge. Let Jesus carry your burden, and let his peace become your defense. This battle is not just about your name, it's about your faith. It's about how deeply you will trust the one who formed you when all the earth turns away. And that kind of trust doesn't come from easy paths. It's carved through storms, chiseled in nights of crying out, and born in moments when all seems lost. Yet somehow, through it all, you're still standing. That's no accident. That's God's hand. The people who tried to harm you, who schemed in shadows, will one day witness what happens when God defends his children. They will see that no lie can outlast his truth, and no weapon formed can prosper when he is your refuge. But you don't need to wait for their apology or confession to find peace. Your peace is not tied to their regret, it's rooted in the cross. In the quiet strength of a Savior who already declared you worthy, forgiven, and free. So breathe. Even if your heart feels heavy. Even if today feels like it's full of fear and questions. God is not finished with your story. This isn't where your purpose ends, it's where it deepens. You are not defeated. You are not condemned. You are being rebuilt from the inside out, made stronger in places the enemy thought he had broken. And when all is said and done, it won't be the accusations that are remembered, it will be the mercy that carried you through. Type yes to affirm that you are held by the hand of God. No matter how powerful the voices against you seem, remember this: their power is temporary, but your Father's justice is eternal. He does not abandon the innocent. He does not forsake his children. When the arrows of false judgment fly, they may shake your spirit, but they will never pierce the protection wrapped around your life by grace. Every tear you shed becomes a silent prayer, and God hears them all. He stores them, and He remembers. You have been called into something much greater than survival. You've been called into victory, into healing, into a story where even the worst betrayal is turned into a testimony of how God never left you. He was there when the accusations began. He was there when your voice felt small and unheard. And He is here now, stronger than ever, ready to make all things new. This fight is not just about clearing your name. It's about discovering how deeply God loves you, how far He will go to rescue you, and how gently He can rebuild what was shattered. You may be walking through what feels like fire, but He walks with you. Not one flame will burn what He has anointed. You were never meant to stay buried under the rubble of other people's lies. You were meant to rise, covered in His glory, standing on the truth of who you are in Him. God's justice doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it arrives in silence, like a whisper that breaks chains in the night. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it waits until every corner of your heart is ready to receive peace without revenge, restoration without bitterness. And in that waiting, you will find a new kind of strength. A strength that only comes when the world breaks you and God builds you again. A mysterious 9-word prayer once sealed inside a private government vault is now resurfacing, and people everywhere are seeing financial breakthroughs overnight. Experts say it triggers a long silent part of the human brain responsible for abundance and wealth attraction. It takes less than 30 seconds to repeat, yet it's turning struggle into prosperity. Thousands are reporting cleared loans, sudden cash inflows, and unexpected blessings. Click the link in the description and comments before this secret disappears again. Even when you feel like no one believes you, know that God does. He knows every detail. He knows the moments you stayed quiet instead of defending yourself because you wanted peace. He knows how you wept in secret, not because you were weak, but because your heart longed for justice without hate. He knows how hard it's been to keep walking. But look at you, you're still standing. That's not weakness. That's faith. Type 1212 if you walk by faith, not by sight. There is something sacred about being misunderstood. It teaches you to lean fully on the one who knows you completely. When the world misreads your actions or doubts your motives, you're left with a choice: to crumble under it, or to rest in the truth that God sees your heart clearly. And when you choose to rest in that truth, something powerful happens. You stop needing the world's approval, and you begin to crave only God's presence. In His presence, there is no shame. There is no burden of having to explain yourself to people who don't care to understand. There is no race to prove your innocence, because your Father already knows it. You don't have to fight for a seat at the table when God Himself prepares one for you in the presence of your enemies. And when He does, no one can take it away. Hold on. Even when it feels like nothing is changing. Even when you are weary. Even when you're tired of being strong. Hold on, not because you have all the strength, but because He is your strength. Hold on because heaven is working in ways you cannot yet see. Sometimes the greatest miracles are the ones that happen quietly, in the background, building piece by piece until suddenly, everything shifts. The people who stood against you will one day look back and realize they never had the final say. They were loud, but they weren't lasting. And you? You'll still be standing, not bitter, not broken, but better, because the one who stood with you was faithful. God isn't in the business of abandoning his children. He is the God of restoration, of redemption, of rescue. And he's writing your story still. He doesn't rely on public opinion to determine who you are. He already defined you, chosen, protected, and redeemed. And no voice of man, no accusation made in anger or envy, can take away what God has spoken over your life. Type 1919 to receive miracles in your situation. You might be tired. Not just physically, but deeply, in your soul. Carrying this weight, feeling like you're walking through a nightmare while the rest of the world goes on as if nothing is wrong. But God hasn't overlooked you. This pain has not been wasted. And what you're going through isn't the end. It's the middle of something that will one day make more sense. A middle where your roots are going deeper in God, even if on the surface everything looks broken. Sometimes, God allows the truth to stay hidden for a while, not because he wants to delay justice, but because he's preparing something deeper. He is not just rescuing you from a moment. He's preparing your heart for a miracle that won't just clear your name, it will change your life. This is about more than freedom from lies. This is about stepping into the next chapter with more strength, more clarity, and more of his presence than you've ever known before. You don't need to chase revenge. You don't need to correct every rumor or plead for people to believe you. Let them talk. Let them assume. Their words are temporary, but God's hand on your life is permanent. The truth, sooner or later, always rises. It always finds its way through the cracks. And when it does, it doesn't need defending. It stands on its own, shining so brightly that every shadow falls away without a sound. And while you wait for that moment, don't let bitterness grow in your heart. The enemy would love for this pain to turn you cold, to make you harsh or hardened. But that's not who you are. You are soft because you trust. You are gentle because you follow Jesus. You are forgiving, not because they deserve it, but because grace lives in you. And when you walk with grace in the middle of injustice, heaven notices. The road ahead may not be smooth, but God doesn't promise easy, he promises presence. He promises peace, even when the storm still rages. And the peace of God doesn't come from everything around you making sense. It comes from knowing, deep down, that you are safe in him. That no matter what the verdict is on earth, heaven has already declared you free. That even if you walk through courtrooms or face trials with trembling hands, your spirit stands tall because it leans on the rock that cannot be shaken. Type 666 if you trust Jesus to carry you through this battle. You may not see how this ends, but you don't have to. God sees it all. He's already in tomorrow. He's already worked through the confusion, the false accusations, the backstabbing, and the shame. And where you see a wall, he sees a door. Where you feel trapped, he's already mapped the way out. You are not walking into judgment, you are walking into deliverance. One step at a time. One prayer at a time. One breath at a time. The fear that gripped you will not hold you forever. The sleepless nights will pass. The tears will dry. And in their place will be a testimony so powerful that others will feel hope just by hearing your story. That's what God does. He takes what the enemy meant for harm and flips it into healing. He takes ruins and builds sanctuaries. He turns sorrow into songs that lift others from their darkness. The pain you carry is real, and God isn't asking you to pretend it isn't. He's not asking you to smile through it or hide it away. He's inviting you to bring it to Him. To lay it down at His feet and let Him carry what you were never meant to hold alone. You weren't created to be crushed by lies. You were created to walk in truth, in love, and in purpose. And you will again. This season is not your sentence. It's your shaping. Buried deep in forgotten archives, a 9-word phrase once hidden from the public is now transforming ordinary lives. Neuroscientists call it a wealth frequency activator, because it awakens a part of the brain that naturally draws prosperity. It takes just seconds to speak, but the change can last a lifetime. People are waking up debt-free and financially secure. The page could vanish at any moment. Click the link before it's gone for good. And through it all, your heart will grow more tender to His voice. Your prayers will grow deeper. Your faith will stretch beyond what you thought was possible. You will learn to recognize His presence even in the silence. And that alone is a miracle. That you could walk through fire and still feel the warmth of His love. That you could lose everything familiar and still know you're not lost. That you could be falsely accused and still be truly seen. Heaven's eyes are on you. Not watching in judgment, but in compassion. Cheering you on. Lifting you when you stumble. Whispering, keep going. Because what waits on the other side of this will be worth it. Your peace will return. Your name will be restored. Your spirit will rise again, not as a victim, but as a victor. Not because of what you did, but because of what He has done for you. When you feel crushed beneath the lies, when the silence from those you once trusted screams louder than any words ever could, remember this: God's love for you does not change. It does not depend on your reputation. It is not shaken by false reports or courtroom threats. His love remains, steady and unmoved, covering you with peace that no one can steal. Type 2323 if you agree that God's truth will always rise. There is something sacred about the moments when everything seems against you. Not because the suffering is holy, but because what it creates within you is. It makes your spirit lean in deeper, pray more honestly, and search for God not in the loud, but in the quiet. In the aching. In the stillness where fear meets hope. It is there, in the quiet corners of your brokenness, that Jesus draws closer than ever. Not with thunder, but with tenderness. Not with anger, but with healing. You may be waiting for a breakthrough that hasn't come yet. You may be staring at closed doors, wondering why the truth hasn't cleared the air. But what if this delay is divine? What if God is not just fixing your situation, but fixing something deeper inside of you? What if He is using this painful moment to teach you that peace doesn't come from justice alone, it comes from knowing He's with you, even when no one else is? Sometimes, the people you thought would defend you will stay silent. Sometimes, those you love the most will believe lies without ever asking for your side. And though it hurts beyond words, that's not the end of the story. Because God sees it all. He sees the injustice. He sees the loneliness. And He sees the strength He's placing inside you through it all. You are not defined by what was said about you. You are defined by the One who created you. The One who formed you in love before the foundations of the earth. The One who sees every hidden detail, every pure intention, every quiet act of kindness that went unnoticed. And this same God who sees it all is the one who will vindicate you, not for the applause, not for revenge, but to remind you that you were never forgotten. Never forsaken. Your story is not ending in shame. It's being rewritten in grace. The enemy tried to bury you in falsehood, but heaven is lifting you in truth. And the truth always finds its way to light, even if it takes time. Even if it feels like you're alone in the dark right now. That light is coming. And when it does, it won't just expose the lies, it will reveal the glory of God working in your life all along. You may be asking, why me? Why did this happen? Why did they lie? Why did they turn on me? And though answers may not come easily, there is one thing you can be sure of: this will not be wasted. God does not waste pain. He repurposes it. He turns it into testimony, into strength, into ministry. You'll carry this scar not as a reminder of what was lost, but of what was restored. You will tell this story with tears, yes, but also with fire in your voice and healing in your hands. Type 2020 to claim miracles through this storm. What the enemy intended to use against you, God is turning for good. Not just for your good, but for the good of others who will one day walk through a similar valley. They will look to you and find hope because you walked through fire and didn't burn. Because you were falsely accused but never abandoned. Because you kept walking when quitting would have been easier. Because you clung to Jesus when nothing else made sense. Don't let the weight of this season make you forget who you are. You are not weak. You are not helpless. You are not ruined. You are a child of the living God. Carried, covered, and chosen. The pain may feel heavy now, but your purpose is heavier. The lies may be loud, but your truth is louder. The courtroom of heaven has already ruled in your favor, and though the world may take time to catch up, God is never late. In time, you will see why the doors had to close. Why the truth took time to rise. Why those people left. It will make sense, not because the pain disappears, but because you'll see what it made space for. Deeper peace. Real faith. Lasting healing. God is doing more than fixing this moment, He's preparing you for what's next. And what's coming will be full of peace, joy, and new beginnings. You will laugh again. You will rest again. You will feel light again. And when you do, you'll look back not with bitterness, but with gratitude. Gratitude that God carried you. That He shielded you even when you didn't see it. That He didn't let the lies destroy you. That He built something unshakable in you while the world tried to tear you down. He is not caught off guard by the lies spoken about you, nor is He overwhelmed by the plans made to harm you. His vision is clearer, deeper, and eternal. Where others only see the surface, he sees your heart. Where others rush to condemn, he waits patiently to restore. Type Amen if you believe he's making all things right, even now. What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, this discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. This is the one moment that can rewrite your future, but only if you claim it now, because hesitation will only keep you chained to the same struggles. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wave and let your financial destiny shift in your favor today. Sometimes, it's not just the accusation that hurts, it's the silence that follows. The silence of those who once called you friend, the quiet retreat of those who used to stand beside you. Their absence can feel louder than the words spoken against you. But in that silence, God speaks the loudest. His voice comes in waves of comfort, in moments of stillness, in deep places of your soul where no human words could ever reach. He doesn't need a crowd to comfort you. His presence alone is enough. It may seem like your name has been thrown in the dirt, but dirt never scares God. He works with dirt. He shapes life from it. He breathes into it and turns it into something beautiful. You are still His creation, His child, His beloved. Nothing that was said or done can undo what He has declared over you. You are not defined by human judgment, you are defined by His mercy, and mercy always rewrites the ending. In times like these, it's easy to want answers. To want justice now. To want to clear your name as quickly as possible. But God's justice doesn't follow human timing. He is not late. He is preparing something far more powerful than you imagined. Something that not only lifts the weight off your shoulders but sets you free in ways you didn't know you needed. Because He is not just rescuing you from this moment, He's building something new in you. Something unbreakable. When Jesus walked this earth, He was betrayed, misunderstood, falsely accused, and sentenced though innocent. And yet, He said not a word in His defense, because He knew the Father was in control. And so are you, even now, walking in His footsteps. You're learning to trust God's justice, not the world's version of it. You're learning that your dignity isn't found in the courtroom of people, it's found at the feet of your Savior. Type 1111 if you trust in God to bring justice in His way, in His time. Let your tears fall if they need to. Let your heart feel what it feels. But don't let despair build a home there. You are passing through. This pain, this storm, this season, it is temporary. God is already building your way out, even if you can't see the path yet. He is working through conversations you never heard, changing hearts you never touched, and shifting the story in ways you'll one day understand. And when the breakthrough comes, and it won't just be a relief. It will be a revelation. You will see how God never left, how He fought battles on your behalf, how He guarded your mind when it was ready to give up, how He whispered peace into your soul when the voices of doubt were screaming. That is the God you serve, not a distant ruler, but a loving Father who stays close when the fire gets hot. Even now, while things still seem uncertain, you're being shaped into someone new. Stronger, softer, wiser. Your prayers have deepened. Your patience has stretched. Your faith has matured. And in the hands of God, none of that will go to waste. The pain you're enduring is producing something eternal, a deeper connection with your Creator and a firmer foundation for the life ahead. There will be a day when you look back and see that what was meant to destroy you only delivered you into your destiny. The enemy thought he had the final say, but he never did. God always writes the last word, and His words are life, restoration, and peace. You don't have to carry the weight of this battle alone. Lay it down at His feet, and let Him carry what your heart no longer can. You are not who they say you are. You are not defined by the accusations, by the rumors, or by the hurt. You are who God says you are, redeemed, loved, protected, and chosen. That truth is unshakable. It is the anchor for your soul. So stand in it. Speak it over yourself when you feel weak. Hold it close when the storm rages. Let it remind you of your worth when others try to strip it away. The fear that you'll be punished for something you never did. The fear that no one will come to your defense. But beloved, God has seen it all. Before a single word was spoken against you, He already knew. And not once has He looked away. Type 222 if you believe God has already stepped into your situation. You are not walking through this valley alone. There is a divine presence beside you, guiding your steps, calming your spirit, and whispering courage into your soul. While others may only see the surface, He sees the depth of your pain. And where others have walked away, He has drawn closer. The same hands that shaped the stars are now wrapped around your weary heart, holding you gently, reminding you that you are still His. The enemy wants you to believe that this is the end. That your name, your peace, your future have been stolen. But he is a liar. The truth is, God is using this very moment to birth something deeper inside of you. Something sacred. Something unshakable. Every accusation has only served to expose what the enemy fears most: your faith, your endurance, your unbreakable connection to the one who called you. When the world stands against you, and when false witnesses surround you, heaven does not stand still. Angels are dispatched. Favor is released. The voice of God becomes your shield, and His justice begins to move through every hidden place. You might not see it yet, but in the quiet places, God is shifting things. Where the world sees defeat, He sees deliverance. Where the world hears silence, He hears your prayers. And where the world declares guilt, He declares grace. Do not waste your strength trying to explain yourself to people who chose not to understand. Your innocence is not proven by their opinion, it is held secure by your Father's hand. Let go of the urge to fight fire with fire. Let go of the desire to make them see what they refuse to. Instead, hold fast to peace. Keep your heart soft. Keep your eyes on Jesus. He knows how to defend the ones who belong to Him. Type 555 if you believe God will defend your name and restore your peace. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, This ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the money magnet brain wave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by. It's okay if some days you feel weak. It's okay if you cry. It's okay if your voice shakes when you pray. Those moments don't disqualify your faith, they deepen it. The Lord draws near to the brokenhearted, and right now, He is nearer to you than ever. He is not looking for perfect strength. He is looking for hearts that lean on Him. And yours, despite everything, is still leaning. Still hoping. Still believing that somehow, God will make a way. And He will. The people who judged you without knowing the truth, the ones who stood silent instead of standing with you, they do not control your future. God does. And He never writes endings in the middle of the story. You are still unfolding. Your life is still wrapped in purpose. And not even the strongest lie can unravel what God has knit together with His love. Right now, even while it still hurts, you are growing. The roots of your faith are pushing deeper into the soil of grace. Your soul is learning to trust when nothing makes sense. You're learning that peace doesn't come from control, it comes from surrender. And in that surrender, you'll find strength you never imagined you had. Strength that doesn't scream, but stands quietly in the truth that God is enough. You don't need to run. You don't need to hide. You don't need to fix what others broke. What you need is already here, His presence. His peace. His promise that He will never leave you nor forsake you. Not now. Not ever. Let your heart rest tonight knowing this: God is not done. Not with your name. Not with your story. Not with your life. What they meant for evil, He is already turning for good. What was meant to shame you, He will use to shape you. And one day soon, you'll see it clearly. The pain will pass. The fear will fade. And all that will remain is the deep, quiet joy of knowing that you were held through it all. The hands that shaped the heavens are the same hands wrapping around your pain today. Not a moment of your suffering is being overlooked, not a single false word spoken against you goes unseen by the one who rules with justice and mercy. You are not lost in this chaos. God is here, closer than breath. Type "yes" to affirm that you belong to God and not to the world's judgment.